Hello everyone and welcome to our second ever trader chat, an informal gathering of people who are using or who are interested in Sentient Trader software and are interested in trading the cycles, trading financial markets using cyclic principles. That's what Sentient Trader is all about. And in these trader chat informal webinars, I will be presenting something of interest in terms of how the software works. We'll be looking at the markets and looking at elements of the software and answering as many questions as I can in the time that we have. We try to keep the trader chats down to 1 hour in length. So without further ado, let's get started. I need to, first of all, of course, keep our lawyers happy by providing a disclaimer. You should be aware that all trading involves risk. You must be aware of and accept that risk before doing any trading, and certainly never trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. You should also know that past performance of any trading methodology is no guarantee of future results. I am not making any representation in this webinar that any account will achieve profits or losses similar to those that I might discuss in the course of the webinar, and all results that are discussed should be considered to be hypothetical unless otherwise specified. And you should be aware that hypothetical performance results have many inherent limitations, and unlike an actual performance record, they do not represent actual trading. There are several important differences. There we go. The lawyers are mollified, I hope. I'd just quickly like to mention how NetViewer should be used. We use NetViewer because it is a very interactive webinar software. It enables up to 6 people to actually speak at one time. However, there is an audio delay because we are holding this webinar right across the world. We have people from Canada to New Zealand and many places in between. And so there is an audio delay, which can be really disconcerting. For that reason, the best way to ask questions is simply to type a message into the chat window. I receive a notification when a message arrives in the chat window. I generally try to finish my train of thought. I finish what I'm saying before I look at those messages. So it could be a moment before I actually see your chat message. If you really would like to speak and you have a headset, then you can right-click in the webinar window, and then NetViewer window, to indicate that you want to speak. And it is preferable to also enter a chat message saying, please let me speak, because people often accidentally right-click in the NetViewer window. I'm not sure why. I think clearing screensavers and things like that. You can use a left click of your mouse in the NetViewer window to display a pointer with your name attached to it. That's very useful if you're asking a question about something and you want to point to the trough or point to the bar in question, but it is also very distracting if you do it accidentally. So please try to avoid those accidental clicks. As you know, we have a first-timer offer. If this is your first time at a trader chat, and you like what you see in terms of the software, and you're the type of person who makes decisions quickly and knows what they like and decides to buy it, then we will offer you a 20% discount, which is valid for 24 hours. It's a really nice discount, and I know there are many people who have been thinking about the software and looking into it and are coming to these trader chat for the final convincing that the software is what they need to trade profitably. If you want to take advantage of the first-time offer, please send a private chat message to Paul Johnson. You can select Paul's name from the drop-down list in the chat window, and Paul will send you a discount coupon and explanation of how to make your purchase. We have also announced recently, last week in fact, that we are resuming the sentient trading workshops that we ran for a period of 4 or 5 months, the end of last year and beginning of this year. They were very popular, and they're a really fantastic way of immersing yourself in the sentient trading method and how Sentient Trader really works, and becoming a really successful sentient trader. Sentient Trader is very powerful software, but in the hands of a novice it can be dangerous to your financial future if you don't know what you're doing. So we really recommend learning how to do it properly. These are 3-day intensive workshops. 3 days, 12 workshop sessions. We work all day long. They happen during the week when the markets are actually trading. We do quite a lot of watching live markets. We will be holding these workshops in Europe, Australia, and the USA. I know that sounds vague. It is vague because we want to know from you where you would like us to hold them. So please complete a short survey. If you go to Sentient Trader's website, sentienttrader.com, go to the resources menu and then click on workshops, then you can fill in a very short survey letting us know where you would like to attend a workshop. And we will try to, obviously we'll hold workshops where most people are able to attend. You can also just simply send us an email to info@sentienttrader.com. Right, let's get down to business and start speaking about the markets. In today's Traders Chat, I am responding to several questions that were emailed to us last week that had to do with the Sentient Trader matrix. Could I explain the Sentient Trader matrix again? Could I sort of fill in some of the gaps? So I am going to do that. So our main topic of the day is the Sentient Trader matrix. And then, having spoken through the whole Sentient Trader matrix, if there is some time, I thought we'd come back and take another quick look at the analysis that we spoke about last week in terms of the S&P 500, see how that's playing out, see how the markets have moved, and of course open the floor to any further questions. If you have any questions at all about anything as I'm speaking, or if it has nothing to do with what I'm speaking about, that's also fine. Please pop your question in the chat window, and I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I can during the course of the webinar. Right, let's get down to business. Let's speak about Sentient Trading Matrix. The first thing before we can speak about Sentient Trading Matrix is you need to understand the concept of the Sentient Trading methodology. The Sentient Trading methodology is based upon the trading methodology that Hurst published in his cycles course. In Hurst's cycle course, that's J.M. Hurst, who published a cycles course in the 1970s. In his cycles course, he devoted most of the course to a presentation of ways in which one should perform an analysis of financial markets according to his cyclic principles. Sentient Trader performs an analysis which is pure Hurst. It is a genuine analysis according to cyclic principles. It presents that analysis on the chart, as you can see, this chart that I have open here, in two ways. It uses the semicircles as a graphic representation of where the cycles are, and it also uses what we call Hurst's diamond notation. Hurst recommended presenting the troughs of the cycles as these piles of diamonds at the foot of the chart. Now, Hurst also recommended a trading methodology, which is a way in which you trade on the basis of the analysis that you've performed. Obviously, it's all very well performing an analysis, but you want to be able to make trading decisions on the basis of that analysis. So Hurst presented a trading methodology, which is a way in which you should trade, know when to buy and when to sell according to the cyclic analysis. One day perhaps I will devote a full webinar to explaining in detail Hurst's trading methodology. The Sentient Trading methodology is based very closely on Hurst's trading methodology. It is not very different, but it is a refinement, if you like, of Hurst's trading methodology. I've had the good fortune to actually speak with somebody who was a personal friend of J.M. Hurst's, and he said to me that at some point towards the end of Hurst's life, he confided in this friend of his that he felt that the trading aspect, the trading methodology of his work could be improved upon. So it was interesting to hear that. Sentient Trading basically presents a refinement upon Hurst's trading methodology. Now, you can have Sentient Trader trade only according to Hurst's trading methodology. If you're a Hurst purist, and I fully understand if you are, I'm a bit of a Hurst purist myself, you can go to the trading menu and you can turn off the Sentient Trading method. you'll notice that several things disappeared from the phasing at the bottom of the chart. Now the software will make recommendations based entirely upon Hurst's trading methodology. Entirely, with none of the new advancements of the sentient trading methodology. Of course, we believe very strongly in the sentient trading methodology. We've done a lot of research and a lot of work into it, and it definitely enhances your profits. So you would probably want to work with the sentient trading methodology. So in your chart, you would want to turn it on. It can be turned off and on a per chart basis. So you could run a chart using sentient trading, and you could run a parallel chart that uses Hurst's trading methodology, and you could compare them and see how they perform. So what is sentient trading methodology? The basic idea is very simple, and let me zoom in on a cycle here so that I can demonstrate it. I've zoomed in on a 40-week cycle that troughed early July 2010, and the cycle spans the full distance all the way to, according to the software, the 9th of August 2011. If I switch on the semicircles, then you can see it actually goes up out of the chart, but that pale green cycle is the one that we're speaking about, the 40-day cycle. Now, let me explain what sentient trading is all about, and I'm going to try and figure out this whiteboard. Let me turn on the whiteboard, and there we go, get a pen. Okay, so here is a cycle from that trough all the way to, oops, my water bottle got in the way, all the way to that trough over there. That's not very good, let me clear that. But that is the, how do I clear it? Okay, that's, it's all in Italian. Okay, there we go. I think that cleared it. Now, so the sentient trading method says that the shape of a cycle is determined by the combination of other cycles that are longer than the cycle that we're considering. Okay? And so what the sentient trading method states is that it's important to know what the shape of the cycle is that you're going to trade. And how does it measure that shape? It breaks every cycle up into 4 waves, or 4 legs, if you like. The first leg, or wave, starts at the trough that begins the cycle, which is over here. And it extends upwards. It is an upward moving wave, and it moves upwards to the highest price point that occurs in the first half of the cycle. Now, the first half of the cycle is defined, of course, by the cycle 1 degree shorter, which is in this case the 20-week cycle, and there is the trough of the 20-week cycle. So that is the half point, the halfway point of the 40-week cycle. You might say it doesn't look like the halfway point. Well, that's because cycles constantly vary in shape and in size. Okay, so I'm just pointing out how the 2 halves of the 40-week cycle are not equal. But that's not important. What's important is that the 20-week trough, which the software has found to be over here, marks the midpoint. So wave 1, the first wave in the cycle shape, starts at the trough, and it goes up to the highest price in the first half. Then the second wave is a downward moving wave from that high point down to the trough, which marks the halfway point, the 20-week cycle. Then wave 3 is the price movement from that trough up to the highest price point in the second half of the cycle. That's wave 3. And wave 4 is a downward leg that comes from that peak all the way down to the trough that ends the cycle. So there we go. We have got 4 waves. 1 is moving up, 2 is moving down, 3 is moving up, and 4 is moving down. Okay? Why do we do this? We do this so that we have a way of describing the shape of a particular cycle. We describe the shape of a cycle by talking about